Hello, sports fans. Welcome to Super Sports Central. Today, we're going to be going with Week 14 college ball predictions. So last week, I had a record of 14-4, and that brings my record on the season to 210-40. So because it is championship week, we only have 10 games this week, but I will only be predicting the games that have a ranked team playing in them. But kicking things off on Friday, starting off with the Conference USA Championship game, that is New Mexico State against Liberty. So Liberty is undefeated. They're playing New Mexico State for the second time this season. They beat them back in Week 2, which is currently New Mexico State's only conference loss. Now, Liberty is not only playing for a Conference USA Championship, but they're playing for an undefeated season and also potentially a spot in a New Year's Six Bowl game, as they could be the Group of 5 team that ends up in the New Year's Six Bowl game if they win and Tulane loses. But I would expect a low-scoring game between these two teams. Both teams are good defensively. New Mexico State allows 19.7 points a game, and Liberty allows 21.7 points a game. Now, Liberty is a great offensive team, scoring 40 points a game and rushing for nearly 300 yards per game. So New Mexico State is going to need to stop the Liberty run game if they want to get the win, and that is something they were not able to do in the previous matchup where Liberty ran for 250 yards in the win. Now, I could see this game going either way. I'm going to take Liberty in the defensive game, but because Liberty's offense is able to score enough points, even against a good defense. But this is a game that could go either way. I've got Liberty remaining undefeated, winning the Conference USA by a score of 27-17. Next game, we got the Pac-12 Championship, and that is Oregon against Washington. So we will have a live watch for this game. It started at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday, so hope to see you guys there. But there's a lot on the line in this game, because obviously it's a Pac-12 Championship, but it's also a playoff game, as the winner will certainly make the college ball playoff. This could also decide the Heisman Trophy between Michael Penix Jr. and Bo Nix, and plus it's the final game for the Pac-12 as we know it. But Washington got the win when these two teams met in the regular season in a thriller, but they were home and Oregon made some questionable decisions that could have potentially cost them the game. Now, both teams have been great this year, especially offensively, and I would expect another shootout this time around, as Washington averages 38 points a game and Oregon scores 45.3 points a game. Now, Oregon's defense is better, but I don't think we're going to see a ton of defense in this game. I think it's going to be mostly offense, although both defenses are solid. Now, Oregon has been the better team as of late. They've been a lot more convincing, as since their loss to Washington, they've won 6 games and won those games by an average of 26 points. Then for Washington, they haven't been quite as good, but they have still been very good. Their defense has been better, and they've found ways to win, and they've played a lot of close games. As since their win over Oregon, they've also won 6 games, and they've won those games by an average of just 6.5 points. But this is another game that could go either way. I think this is going to be a great game, just like the first time these two teams played. And Oregon is a very popular pick, especially with this game being at a neutral site. But I'm going to take Washington with the win. I know it's not easy to beat the same team twice, especially when the second time is at a neutral site. But Washington is more battle-tested in close games, and they're also more battle-tested against better teams. And plus now I trust Washington's defense got to stop if they need to after their defense has been a lot better as of late. Plus Washington has found ways to win this season, especially lately. I think they do that again. They win the Pac-12 championship in the final game for the Pac-12. They make the college football playoff, win their 20th game in a row, and they defeat Oregon for the second time this year by a score of 34-31. Moving to the games we got on Saturday, starting off with the Big 12 championship game, that is Oklahoma State against Texas. So Texas can make the college football playoff, and that starts with a win. Now, this is going to be the first time these two teams play this year, as they did not play during the regular season. And this year is the first time these two teams didn't play during the regular season since the Big 12 was formed in 1996. Now, Oklahoma State's been good this year, and star running back Ollie Gordon has been the focal point of their offense. Ollie Gordon's had a monster season with 1,580 rushing yards and 20 rushing touchdowns. He now faces a great Texas run defense that allows just 85 rushing yards, which is 5th best in the country, and they also allow just 2.9 yards per carry, which is also 5th best in the nation. Now, outside of the run, Oklahoma State has a solid pass game, as they average 265 passing yards a game, but I don't trust their quarterback Alan Bowman to be able to lead them to the victory, as this season Bowman has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns, as he's thrown for 10 scores and thrown 11 picks. So I think the Texas defense will dominate this game. The Texas offense is also very good as well, and Texas wins the Big 12 championship game in their final Big 12 game before departing for the SEC next year, and Texas wins this game pretty convincingly by a score of 31-14. Moving on, we've got the SEC championship game, that is Alabama against Georgia. So Alabama needs to win if they want to have any chance at the college football playoff, but they need to now be a Georgia team that has not lost in 2 years, and Georgia's last loss was actually against Alabama in the 2021 SEC championship game. Now, Alabama is still very lucky to be in playoff contention after nearly losing to Auburn last week. Now, Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe will need to be a huge factor in this game with both his arm and his legs, and he will need to have a monster game if Alabama wants to get the win. But Georgia has a tremendous defense, allowing just 15.8 points per game and just 176 passing yards a game. So it's going to be tough against Jalen Milroe and the Alabama offense. Now, Alabama has a good defense as well, allowing just 18 points per game. But both teams are very good on the offensive side of the ball. Georgia scores 40 points a game, and Alabama scores roughly 36 points a game. But the difference in this game is I trust Georgia more, especially offensively, and I'm not going to pick against a great Georgia team that has won 29 games in a row. I think Georgia gets through another undefeated season and heads to the college football playoff as the 1 seed, as they beat Alabama by a score of 31-20. But this is definitely a game that could go either way, and I can definitely see Alabama getting the win because obviously they're Alabama. Next game, we got the AAC championship game. That is SMU against Tulane. So Tulane has been very good this year, but they haven't been quite as convincing, especially as of late, where they've played a lot of close games. SMU has been very good this year. They're a very balanced team. They score 41.8 points a game, and they allow 17.7 points a game, and both those stats rank top 15 nationally. So SMU has those numbers to back up me picking them, but SMU is on the road at Tulane, who's a very good team, obviously, and SMU is also without their starting quarterback, Preston Stone, who broke his leg last week in the win over Navy. So because SMU is without their starting quarterback, I'm not going to pick them to win the American Conference Championship game, because they're now on the road with their backup quarterback against a very good Tulane team that has won 11 straight conference games. So Tulane wins the American for the second year in a row, and they are the team to represent the Group of 5 in New Year's Six Bowl game, and I have them defeating SMU in a close game, 24-20. And even though SMU is without their starting quarterback, this could still go either way, but I've got Tulane with the win. Up next, we've got the Big Ten Championship game, that is Michigan against Iowa. So Michigan is a near walk to make the college football playoff, but they do have to face a very good Iowa team that is elite defensively. Now, we all know Iowa has a tremendous defense, but a terrible offense, as Iowa allows just 12.2 points per game, but offensively they score just 18 points a game. So Iowa definitely has the defense to pull off the upset against Michigan, but I don't trust their offense at all, especially against a very, very good Michigan defense that allows just 10.3 points a game. But Michigan is the better team here. Their defense will dominate this game against a terrible Iowa offense. And Michigan's offense is very good, scoring 37.6 points a game, and they'll be able to score a decent amount, even against good Iowa defense. Michigan will win the Big Ten for the third consecutive season, and they beat Iowa by a score of 27-0. And our final game, we've got the ACC Championship game, that is Louisville against Florida State. So this is a really tough game to predict. Obviously, Florida State is without quarterback Jordan Travis, and they will be starting Tate Rodemaker at quarterback. Now, Rodemaker started last week against Florida, but the offense wasn't great, scoring just 24 points and relied heavily on the run. Now, running ball will be tough this week for Florida State as they face a great Louisville defense that is especially good against the run, as Louisville allows just 96 rushing yards per game. Now, Louisville is good against the pass as well, allowing just 217 passing yards per game. Now, while this is a very good Louisville defense, Florida State also has a great defense, as they have the best scoring defense in the ACC, allowing just 16 points a game, and they have a great pass defense, allowing 175 passing yards a game. Now, the one area of the Florida State defense where they aren't great is against the run, where they allow 140 rushing yards a game, and that plays into the strength of the Louisville offense, which rushes for 183 yards per game. So this is a game I could definitely see going either way. I think this game's going to be decided by whoever can run the football better and who plays better defense. For me, that's going to be Louisville. They've shown they can stop the run more effectively than Florida State can stop the run, and this can be a lower scoring game between two very good defenses, but I just don't trust the Florida State offense with Tate Rodemaker. So I'm going to take Louisville winning the ACC Championship game in a very close game, 21-20. But those are my Week 14 college football predictions or my conference championship game predictions. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications. I do my best to post as often as possible. Let me know in the comments if you agree with my predictions, disagree, and why. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Also, make sure to check out the community tab of my channel where you guys can vote on who you think win this week's conference championship games. But thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications. I do my best to post as often as possible, and I'll see you in the next video.